This is a CBS4 News special, Girls in Science, inspiring the next generation of great explorers.
Hi, I'm Whitney, and thank you for joining us for our Girls in Science special. We're here at the Museum of Nature and Science, one of our great partners in the Girls in Science event.
You already are a scientist right now.
For the last 3 years, the museum has hosted this fabulous one-day event. It's a creative spin on the traditional job fair. Girls in Science is geared towards girls ages 8 to 13 and their families. There are dozens of clubhouses offering experiments and activities in the STEAM fields: science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. Girls get to meet women working in these fields to find out who they are, what they do, and what inspires them. CBS4 and the Museum of Nature and Science hope that meeting these professionals will encourage young girls to pursue STEAM education and careers.
I hope that from this event, these girls know that they can try and they can fail and they can be successful, and that's okay.
Experimentation is a critical part of science. It's also important in finding a career you're passionate about. This is the imagination screen here at the Museum of Nature and Science. It's just one of the ways they use computer technology to help make learning fun. According to the National Center for Women and Information Technology, only 26% of the computing jobs in the U.S. are held by women. At this year's Girls in Science, Level 3 was turning young girls into cybersecurity superheroes. It's a job that the Broomfield Company does every day of every year. At Level 3, experts are monitoring hacking threats from around the world day and night.
We really look at how can we stop the bad guys from stealing personal information, credit cards, healthcare records.
Level 3 considers its workers cyber superheroes and wants to teach the same skills that Girls in Science.
They'll start by learning about the internet, how it works. Then they'll move to a cybersecurity superheroes training where they'll learn how to be safe online.
Password maintenance and how do you get online and be safe and still have fun.
After a quick lesson in cryptology,
they're using a secret language, and you have to decode what they're saying.
The girls will be cyber superheroes. Cybersecurity is an industry full of opportunities.
It's not the cliche that we see on movies or on TVs. Different backgrounds, different gender, different cultures. They all can come together and bring a lot to the table, and hopefully in a few years these are the candidates that we'll be looking for in these engineering jobs.
Computer sciences are some of the fastest growing and highest paying jobs. It's no surprise as we all become more reliant on our cell phones and all those other gadgets. Computer coding is one of the specialties at the Denver School of Innovation and Sustainable Design. And as Kathy Walsh shows us, the girls there are ready for the challenge.
These 10th graders are learning a new language. They're speaking computer coding.
It's been really a fundamental part of our core curriculum. Computer science has as much weight as a social studies or language arts class.
The Denver School of Innovation and Sustainable Design has science, technology, engineering, and mathematics at the heart of its educational offerings. And getting girls into the fold is a huge priority.
We are always working to get greater diversity along the lines of race, ethnicity, gender.
They have a community engagement liaison whose job is to enroll new students.
We have recruited very strategically to have female STEM teachers who really represent the paradigm shift that we're trying to make.
Madeline Burton is the computer science teacher.
I graduated as one of 3 females in my class in computer science.
Burton says she had a hard time internalizing her accomplishments and often questioned her abilities.
I didn't have female mentors.
Now she's part of changing that for the next generation. Girls at DSISD say they don't feel inferior to boys.
Sometimes they do things better than I do, and sometimes I do things better than they do. So it's up to us to fill up those holes and to help each other complete our learning as much as we can.
As more and more girls take their place in front of the computer screen, they bring a different point of view to innovation in technology. Kathy Walsh, CBS 4 News.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in 2010, there were nearly 117,000 computer programmer jobs. That number is expected to grow by nearly 30% by 2020, and those jobs pay a median income of $72,000 a year. We've moved into the Discovery Zone, and this waterway is an excellent example of engineering. MWH specializes in engineering water resources. This year, they hosted the Engineering Revealed Clubhouse, where girls got the chance to create ways to reroute water. In other years, they focused on water quality.
What's your favorite part of your job?
So I used to do a lot of international work, saw firsthand how dirty water affects people's lives, the risks of that water being dirty in terms of disease.
Allegra and the female engineers at MWH Global are taking their passion for engineering to Girls in Science.
The force of the water will allow this water wheel to move, which will turn all these gears, and it'll connect to the light.
Young future scientists will also get a little bit messy.
Take water and make it really dirty with soil representing dirt and pollutants that might come from agriculture.
After a few more steps,
and of course nobody would want to drink that,
a filter cleans the dirty water.
And as you can see, the water comes out clear.
Just like it would at a treatment plant.
And you would drink that water?
I would.
Wow.
Yeah, it's that simple.
It's not all H2O for these engineers.
Landslides, earthquakes, and faults, oh my.
They'll be showing off how different materials can make a big difference during natural disasters.
This bridge is made out of rigid materials, and so it is going to fail. And this pipe cleaner bridge is made out of flexible materials, and so it is not going to fail.
These engineers hope their excitement for science helps ignite the next generation of young women.
If you like to solve problems, it's a wonderful way to use your brain to make the world a better place.
Energy comes in many different forms, from heat to kinetic, from electrical to mechanical. Energy technology is the transfer and use of those different kinds of energies. At Girls in Science, Excel Energy was focused on electrical energy and the way it powers our community.
The Excel Energy booth is going to be Girl Power and Safety Sisters. We're a power company, so we're here to empower those girls and to help them understand science.
We met with Lori Warner, a public safety coordinator at Excel. She showed us how dangerous electricity can be when it's not handled properly.
That's not going to bode well for this guy.
From leaves on trees to underground power lines, the dangers are everywhere.
It's to help them see how electricity moves throughout the community. So again, that science piece, the technology piece.
Lori has spent her career with Excel and is eager to help teach the next generation.
So there's opportunities for them to learn about electricity, natural gas, solar, wind. There's lots of fun things for them to do at our booth. Helping those girls to feel empowered around doing those science and engineering and math, those type of jobs and those type of careers.
According to the 2017 U.S. Energy and Employment Report, traditional energy and energy efficiency companies employ about 6.4 million Americans. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory is based in Golden. They focus on energy efficiency and developing renewable energy resources. NREL hosted the Building a Brighter Future Clubhouse at Girls in Science. Young scientists were lighting up circuit boards using simulated solar panels. It's a lesson in integrating renewable energy into the grid. This is the Space Odyssey exhibit at the Museum of Nature and Science, and this is a replica of the Mars rover. Engineering students in some of Colorado's high schools are getting the chance to build a smaller version of these rovers.
At Centaurus School, the aerospace class is learning about how satellites work. Their homemade models are mapping the ground beneath them. The students also build their own Mars rovers and model rockets. One group of students sent a science experiment into space.
I started off on the mechanical team, so I did the design of the inner casing and the gears and stuff. This holds the program and it has the SD card to store all of our data.
They had to build a self-sufficient experiment that tracks the growth of bacteria in space.
And I think we came up with 14 or 15 different designs for just the inner casing before we came up with the final one.
It's been a years-long project that Mary Hanson says gave her insight into what an engineering career could be like.
You have to come up with the idea on your own, and if it doesn't work, how are you going to fix it? It wasn't just our teacher telling us what we had to do.
Hanson is preparing to go to the University of Colorado Boulder to study engineering.
Math is something I am good at and I enjoy it.
She says she has been in science programs and engineering clubs since kindergarten, and being a girl has never made a difference.
I've never really run into an environment where the boys weren't accepting.
Challenging projects and supportive teachers have allowed Hanson to pursue her passion. Karen Lee, CBS4 News.
Pursuing your passions is really what Girls in Science is all about. Girls get the opportunity to see different career options in the effort to expand their horizons.
It means a lot to me. I've always been interested in science. Like when I grow up, I want to go to CU to be an aerospace engineer because I've always loved space and engineering, and it means a lot to see like so many girls getting into it.
It's a bit of an uphill battle to keep girls interested in science. Research shows that as early as 6 years old, girls start to self-select out of their science classes. They associate boys with being smarter. That's why Girls in Science is so important, to keep girls interested and encourage them to follow their dreams. Our Jennifer Bryce introduces us to one local engineer doing just that.
Dina Poncha is a mechanical designer at a small aerospace company in Littleton.
Right now I'm working on a design for the solar arrays, which are used on the spacecraft to collect solar energy.
She's working on a project that will send the smallest of satellites into deep space. The project requires a lot of problem solving and some elegant design ideas.
So I'm working on the design of how they are stowed and then how they will deploy and fan out once they get up into space and move around.
Dina has always been fascinated by science and math, and working in the space industry has been a dream since she was 10 years old.
My family took me to Kennedy Space Center, and so I saw my first IMAX movie, and I saw the shuttle Columbia, which had just landed that day, and all this other amazing technology, and I realized that was something I really wanted to be a part of.
She went to college for aeronautical and mechanical engineering and interned at NASA, and now she's working on the next generation of space exploration.
The biggest limiter on women in science is themselves and believing that they can be part of this industry and make an impact and do the work that is expected.
Women like Dina Poncha are on the front line of aeronautical design, helping to break down the stereotypes about who can do this kind of work. Jennifer Bryce, CBS4 News.
In 1983, Sally Ride was the first American woman to go into space. In 1984, Catherine Sullivan was the first American woman to perform a spacewalk. Coming up a little later on our Girls in Science special, we'll take you to one of the most popular clubhouses where girls got to be doctors for the day. Also, art and science are not as different as you might think. We'll talk about the science of art and why my Winter Wonderland Clubhouse gave some of the girls a chance to try out some television technology.
Engineering is a very creative field, and whether it's designing a new life-saving medical device or making sure we have clean, safe drinking water or clean energy for our future.
We're in the entrance to the Coors Gems and Minerals hallway. Mining has long been part of Colorado's history, and it's also the beginning to the Colorado School of Mines. They offer a wide array of engineering and applied sciences degrees. At Girls in Science, the School of Mines booth offered the opportunity to make a name bracelet in binary code with the white and black beads representing ones and zeros. Chemistry is important because everything we do involves chemistry. There's a chemical reaction in everything from eating, breathing, even just sitting. At one of their Girls in Science clubhouses, the students from the Colorado School of Mines made chemistry into art.
Their love for science started at a young age. Now in college, Lyndsey Babcock and Brittany Sandoval are in the Society of Women Engineers at the Colorado School of Mines.
One of our big pushes within that society is to do some outreach and recruit girls into STEM.
STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So we're gonna make a homemade lava lamp out of oil and water. So it's based off of the densities.
It starts with a combination of water, oil, and food coloring. Then an Alka-Seltzer tablet puts on a show.
This is going to react with the water and form carbon dioxide gas.
As those bubbles of gas rise to the top, the lava lamp is set into motion. For those who love to make art,
so this is the tie-dye experiment. We're going to be designing something similar to this.
All it takes is this piece of cloth, some Sharpies, rubbing alcohol, and a little creativity.
And so Sharpies are alcohol-based markers, so the alcohol is what is going to bring the ink out.
The result will be a cool tie-dye design that you can take home.
This is the museum's Genetics of Taste Lab, where real scientists do real research every day. Earlier when we were talking about scientific careers, we were talking about science, technology, engineering, and math. STEM for short. Now we're going to add art into the mix because there's a lot of science in art. Our Andrea Flores shows us how.
The Denver Center for the Performing Arts showed us the science behind the curtain at its Clubhouse. A pulley system is the perfect example of how stagehands use science to keep the show running smoothly.
We're learning how when there's more strings that you don't have to pull as hard, it's easier to pull it, but when there's only like one string, you have to pull harder.
There's also science in costuming, set construction, and props.
The kinetic puppets are really using a simple machine to create a puppet that moves.
Eurekas hosted the Art Explorers Clubhouse, where girls could make art projects that emphasize engineering.
What it has is little brads, and these are a lever. A lever has a fulcrum, which is a rotating point, just like your elbow. And so kids are using basic levers to create puppets that move.
On the Tinker table, there are other mechanical art projects as well as an example of electrical circuit.
Our NASA program, Art and the Cosmic Connection, uses art concepts to understand worlds in our solar system.
The intersection of arts and science is where the imagination soars. Andrea Flores, CBS4 News.
Famous American writer and biochemistry professor Isaac Asimov said, "There's an art to science and a science in art. The two are not enemies, but different aspects of the whole." There is certainly an art to forecasting weather. Coming up, we go in front of the green screen at Lauren Whitney's Winter Wonderland Clubhouse.
Just to have this really awesome experience of being like a weather watcher, it's really cool. And I think it's really cool to see how it empowers young girls to get into meteorology.
That is one of our CBS4 junior weather watchers, and she's very interested in science. Weather is a very complicated science. Meteorology is the study of the atmosphere. We watch jet streams, among other things, to help do our forecasting. And at Girls in Science, we combine television technology and meteorology for a fun time.
We were doing the forecast.
The biggest draw at Lauren Whitney's Winter Wonderland Clubhouse is being on the green screen. It's complicated technology.
It shows like the weather thing, like the map. Yeah, so you stand behind it, so you're not actually there, but like they can put a picture up.
The weather maps are electronically filled in behind you. It can get a little confusing.
When like the thing that you want to point out is this way, when you need to point that way.
You know what comes out of the clouds in the sky? Rain, exactly.
Some of my CBS4 friends helped with an activity about the water cycle.
I think that it's like really cool, and I like being in the spotlight, so I think that it's like just amazing how weather is like so connected, and it just like it all makes sense, but in this like complex world.
As a meteorologist, we need to know physics and chemistry, and then we can predict what we think is going to happen next.
All right, come on over.
Also, I got to meet so many budding young scientists. They asked amazing questions and offered keen observations on the science of weather.
I love my clubhouse every year, and I love getting to explore all the other clubhouses as well. Meteorology is one of the environmental sciences, and environmental sciences can include anything from forestry to agriculture to sustainability policies and environmental policies. Coming up, we'll explore the world of animal sciences, where man's best friend took one for the team, giving the girls a real-life veterinary experience.
I liked it because there's like this veterinary area, and I got to see a whole bunch of dogs, and dogs are my favorite animals.
Who doesn't love dogs? We're here with the bears right now at the Museum of Nature and Science's Bear Hall. Our Britt Marino shows us how animals played a very special role at Girls in Science.
Perfect, good job. These precious puppies sat ever so still while young hands practiced bandaging them.
We got to wrap animal legs like real dogs.
Animal bioscience is studying the biology of animals. Colorado State University brought in volunteer veterinarians and service animals to give the girls a real-life experience.
We've been doing like vet things, like we were like being like vets.
I am teaching about the dog's heartbeat, and we're going over what the heart does in the body and making sure we can hear the heart versus the lungs, because you can hear both with the stethoscope.
We got to like check out medical things on dogs.
It was the stuffed animals that underwent surgery to demonstrate the different internal organs.
I think that's actually a kidney.
We had these stuffed animals and we were performing surgery.
Veterinary medicine is a science, just like human medicine and the biomedical sciences.
Zoology is the study of animals themselves.
Great observations. You are an excellent scientist.
The Denver Zoo had a shingleback skink for the girls to observe.
What I noticed about the skin was that it kind of looks like a pine cone.
And his head looks like his tail.
They're actually making their own observations, so they are being true scientists today.
Through touch, observation, and experimentation, the animal sciences were fully represented at Girls and Science. Britt Marino, CBS 4 News.
The medical sciences are an area where women are well represented. In 2013, 52% of biological and medical scientists were women, and 55% of the managerial positions in the medical and health services field were held by women. CBS 4 and the Denver Museum of Nature and Science developed Girls in Science to inspire girls ages 8 through 13. Our very special day hopefully plants the seed of exploration that will grow into STEAM opportunities in their future. Thank you to the Museum of Nature and Science for hosting us here today, and thank you for watching our CBS 4 Girls in Science special.